She's an asphalt driver from the Midwest who made it to the Sprint Cup Series. She's a former Miss Motorsports who's the daughter of a sprint car driver from Pennsylvania. Somehow they make it work. Time for Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tire. Here are David and Ashley Stremme.
Hey, y'all. It is Tuesday, and you know what that means? It's time for another edition of Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. That's right. We are going to talk everything late model and modified racing from this past weekend. Our three guests this week are Gregg Satterlee. Yes, we had him on last month, but we're bringing him back. He picked up his first his first Lucas Oil win on the last lap pass of Scott Bloomquist.
Yeah,
so
anybody past Bloomquist got to be on the show.
That's right, especially on the last lap.
Yep.
Also, we have Josh Harris. He is our current UMP national points leader. He also picked up a win at Bloomington this weekend. And last but certainly not least, we have Cade Dillard. He is your USMTS. He won at the
little bull ring.
The bull ring?
5th mile.
The cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cage. It was awesome video I've seen.
I'm not going to say it right.
All I know is it was supposed to rain. I was talking to Johnny and Stormy Scott, and they're like, I said, hey, how you guys doing? I hadn't seen them, their finishes, and they're like, oh, it was going to rain. We left, but they got to racing. It was great for Cade Dillard. So, but
well, we're a host, Ashley and David Stremme.
Sorry,
no problem. We're so glad that you joined us today. Good, crazy weekend, I guess.
That was great. I mean, when you look around, I was talking to Shane Clanton. Obviously, really excited. I don't plan on racing this weekend. I know you're happy, but
who said that?
I don't know. I just figure
we're
not going to have a. Hang on.
No. Now you're just making things up.
Well, you're like, you can't race every weekend.
Well, when did I say that this year?
Okay, now we're on camera. She's going to say it. So now we have that on video. But anyways, so that worked perfectly.
Well, no, I didn't say that towards the end of the year I don't say that.
I know. Anyways,
beginning of the year, I want to race every weekend.
I was talking Shane Clanton. A lot of the World Outlaw late model guys are coming in to Carolina Speedway this Friday. I'm excited to go there and watch.
We'll be there, absolutely.
Yes, so but it was interesting talking to him. You know, he was up at Rome Speedway, and Chris Madden ended up winning there. And I was like, hey, Madden's been on a really good roll here lately. And he was like, man, he's just tough. He's found some stuff. And it was interesting as I got thinking about it. Those guys, they run the World Outlaw Series. They're traveling around to racing. And obviously they haven't raced since Illinois. Mm-hmm. But like Madden's been here in the Southeast, and he's just like, hey, I'm going to locate here. And obviously he'll probably go to Eldora or some of these other places, but he's very, very strong right now. And it'll be interesting. I think he'll be there at Carolina on Friday.
Well, if that's the case, we're going to have to walk up and talk to him because we've tried to get him on the show.
The guy
before.
Works.
I know, but he can at least return our messages.
Well, we'll work on that. But anyways, there's a lot of cool things going on. Everybody, a lot of times they get the negative stuff going in the racing industry, mm-hmm. social media, whatever else. But a lot of people were doing some stuff for Charlie Floyd. Yes. Devin Moran won at Atomic, had a really, really great interview. He had put the 99F on his car. There's people in Australia, late model drivers down there had him on. But the other cool thing that I thought was really neat, a lot of people said, hey, how can we get better? And I thought this was very active as a sport of all of us. We mourn the loss of a fellow racer. But the thing is that what can we do to prevent a lot of this? Mm-hmm. And probably one of the things that was discouraging is everybody goes, well, so-and-so should have done this. Listen, right. We're all to blame. Absolutely. Bottom line, we're all to blame. I can be better.
We all can.
Everybody, the track, series, everything. So anyways, one of the cool ideas was, hey, everybody has a four-wheeler. We see a lot of four-wheelers at the racetrack. Mm-hmm. Put a fire extinguisher on them. I'm like, hey, that is a pretty good idea. I mean, most four-wheelers don't have them on there. So
mm-hmm.
we've seen that.
Brian Ruhlman had some really good points. I don't know if you took time to read his post. Which is very good as well.
Brian he's a builder, and mm-hmm. We use a lot of the same common theories of safety. Why do we need big fuel cells in the cars? Mm-hmm. Drop decks within a reasonable rule, more exit. Like my cars, the cages are taller in them. And there's a lot of things like I'm surprised. I was talking with some guys last night, late model guys. The late model cars don't really have door plates in their cars. All the modifieds do.
Right.
Well, the late model's got a lot smaller bars and everything else up front. So there's a lot of things, again, that's really cool coming out of this. And it was interesting. I know you were selling T-shirts, the Lethal T-shirts. All the proceeds went to Charlie and his family. But it was interesting how that local racer up there touched everybody's lives across the country.
Well, that's what I think is so great about our sport is you don't necessarily know these people. We don't know Charlie, but ultimately he's part of our family. And that's one thing that I think our sport of racing has that no other sport can say that they have is the camaraderie and the family type relationship that everybody has because you're one of us. Or, you know, it's just a very large family out there in the racing community. And it's really awesome just to see that everybody stands behind that and helps support them.
Well, and I'd be curious, you know, obviously there's racetracks that probably had enforced some more things this past week. I had seen Crystal Speedway up in Michigan. They had posted a picture, a sportsman car or something went flying off track, flipped. The cage was crushed. It burned to ground. Luckily, the driver got out. But the fire crews were there, everything. So, anyways, after a long, hard week, there was really a lot of good positive come out of it.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't, you know, I even seen Rumley had tweeted a picture, hey, we're putting a fire bottle in. I'm like, it's not like it's the newest technology, but it's definitely, he's setting the standard, saying, look, guys, I'm big on weight, all this other stuff. Let's put it in there. And
it was really cool. You brought up Devin Moran. I thought it was really cool that Charlie's dad was there and was able to share in victory.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the gentleman who walked in while Devin was being interviewed. That was Charlie's father, so he got to be there and be a part of that. So even though it's a devastating situation, there's some good that's come out.
I got to say, too, getting off, I'm tired of all sad subject. I want to tell you something nice.
Yeah.
I went to Dublin Speedway first time this weekend, past weekend. Southeastern Modified Series was there, which was a great race. The stands were packed. We had 29 cars there. I ended up finishing fourth. We chose the wrong tire, but anyways, Nick Hoffman won. But what was a cool thing, Derek Ramey finished second. I got to get the rundown down there, and Kyle Strickler finished third. So anyways, we're pulling in the racetrack. We come off this road, never been there before, and I've heard all these stories. Oh, Dublin and snakes and so forth. And we're pulling in, it says private drive, okay. Go over a little speed bump. We go down. Nice house. You know, somebody living there, obviously, on the property. Here's a pond. That was really cool. Nice pond. Everybody goes fishing in. Cabins where people can stay.
Yeah.
And your favorite, there was a vineyard there.
I tweeted a picture of it. I said that every dirt track should have a winery or a vineyard or something because it's great. It closes right at 6, just as the time of the green flag's ready to drop for racing. So it's perfection.
And, folks, she was a little tipsy. So.
Hey, it's a winery. You have to take advantage of it.
I was like,
correct?
Put the caution out. You're done for me.
Love beer.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love wine.
Yeah. So, anyways, hats off to Dublin. Hats off to Dublin Speedway. You know, definitely we'll go back there. The racing was great, but also the atmosphere in the facility was really cool.
Real quick, before we go to break here, I want to shout out to Anthony Schultz. He tweeted us a Tweet Your Seat this weekend, an awesome picture from Southern Australia at Murray Bridge Speedway. It was the Force. It is my favorite Australian day. I love Australians.
What if they have kangaroos at the racetrack?
I don't.
Like, we take dogs there. Do they take kangaroos?
I don't know if they have them as pets down there or not. But he tweeted us an awesome 4-wide salute from the late models there. Also, another quick Australian shout out. Peter Britton picked up a win.
Yeah,
this weekend.
I'd seen that.
It's probably best that we don't have Australians on this show because I don't do well with their accents. They make me giggle the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we had a great weekend.
We did.
It was a lot of fun, and I was more impressed with our guest coming up here, how he passed Scott Bloomquist. I can't wait to talk to him.
We're going to hear about it right after the break here with Gregg Satterlee on Slingin Dirt on MRN, presented by Hercules Tires.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
The Toyota Racing Team wants to take a quick moment to congratulate Kyle Busch on his 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship that he won in the Camry. Don't worry, this will be as fast as Kyle in his Camry. How fast is Kyle? So fast he's won a ton of races across all NASCAR series. Plus, he's won 133 of Toyota's 332 NASCAR victories. He's even won 38 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series races in the Tundra. And now here he is, wearing the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship crown. So yeah, Kyle is really fast. We're proud of him and all the folks at Joe Gibbs Racing, whose teamwork made this win possible. Keep those checkered flags waving and take another victory lap in your Camry, Kyle. Good luck to all our drivers in the 2016 season. Head over to ToyotaRacing.com to find more info about the Toyota Racing Team and Kyle's journey to victory. Better get there fast before Kyle wins another race. Let's go NASCAR. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Ready to take the training wheels off your race scanner? Go to fanvision.com and upgrade your experience with FanVision. Not only will you be able to hear the race,
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets a good run, drafting help from Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Jr. again pulls up alongside for the race lead.
you'll see every moment through live video, instant replays, live stats, and more.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, driver of the #1 Cessna Chevrolet, and I never go to the track without my FanVision. So go to fanvision.com to rent or buy yours today.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. You're listening to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're the Stremmes, and joining us on the hotline now, he picks up his first Lucas Oil win with a last lap pass on Scott Bloomquist. It is the truth, Gregg Satterlee. Welcome back to the show, Greg.
The truth.
Yeah, that's his nickname.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
we
go.
lost you there for a minute. Our producer is failing miserably this morning.
He's still in Vegas.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Greg, an amazing weekend. We talked to you last month. You were picking up a heck of a bunch of wins there in Pennsylvania. You go down to Hagerstown, Maryland this weekend with a last lap pass on Scott Bloomquist. What in the world was going through your head on that one?
It was pretty awesome. I don't know. It kind of happened so quick. Up until it was over, I didn't even realize. It was sort of crazy. I had followed him for quite a few laps and was, I knew in the back of my head that if we had caught lap traffic, I would be able or have a chance to pass him. But I was being pretty realistic and thinking that second place was probably going to be as good as it was going to get that night. I charged as hard as I could to the last lap, and we fortunately caught lap traffic, and he made a mistake going into turn one on the last lap and sort of slid out of the groove where he had been running, and I was able to get by him and hold on for the win. So it was definitely something that I never really dreamt that I would be able to do, in my career for to win a Lucas Oil race and pass Scott Bloomquist on the last lap to do it. That's something a lot of people just dream about, but it happened, and it was pretty awesome.
Greg, hey, I'm here to tell you, you passed him, all right? You. When I think of your name and hear it, I go, man, that guy, he is strong, not just in PA. I remember talking to you before you went to Eldora last year. You were very fast there, and, I hate to bring up bad timing, but I remember at Portsmouth you left early, and you have been on fire. And that team has been working very well, and it's showing in your results. What is the key ingredient that has made it better, you think?
I think it's a lot to do with our new car. It's a new XR1 Rocket, and it's working really well for us. We got good engines. Andy Durham's building us Chevy engines this year, and they run awesome. And I mean, those are the two main ingredients, to making your car work. We got, good shocks from Integra, and I got good help. I can't thank my crew chief, Robbie Allen, enough. We've been working together. I think this is our 5th year now together.
Wow.
4th or 5th now. And, we've had good seasons. Last year was sort of a disappointment. Like you said, we were at Portsmouth, and there were plenty of weekends like that, we failed to make the show and just didn't run good at all. So we got a new car this year. Got some different engines we're using from Andy, and everything is just everything's cooking right now. So it's a lot of fun when this, when you're racing well and everything's falling your way. It's awesome.
Absolutely. With this win being your first Lucas win, does this change your schedule at all? Are there going to be some more big races, maybe following a tour more instead of just picking and choosing?
I guess for sure. Anytime you're running well, you're gonna definitely head where the money is. You know, if you're running good, you gotta go. I guess no matter where it is. But probably the next couple of weeks, our schedule is gonna remain the same as far as I know. But once we get to the 1st of June, you know, we'll be going to the Dream, and there's definitely some crown jewels to follow after that. You know, we get Lernerville, that's about an hour from my house, and we're going to try to hit all, you know, as many of the big races as we can, and, you know, see how we make out. You know, if you don't, like you said, if you don't go to them, you know, you can't win them or make any money. So that's what we're going to try to do. As long as everything keeps going good, we're going to, you know, keep going after those big wins.
How with that win at Hagerstown, and I'm looking at the results here, and you were really the only non-regular Lucas Oil guy in the top 10. I mean, what kind of shot in the arm is that for that area and that what I call the posse area of Pennsylvania, Maryland, that whole area in dirt late model racing to be able to prove, hey, we are tough over here in this region. And I know you do get out and travel, but that's got to say a lot about those cars and where you guys are racing at up in there.
Yeah. To be honest, when I did see the results, I was surprised that it did end up that way. I mean, the guys that tour on the Lucas Series are extremely good, but you know, there's a handful of pretty stout regional guys that race at Hagerstown a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess they just, you know, they didn't run as good as maybe I thought they would have. But you know, to finish up front in front of all the regional guys, as well as all the, you know, the touring Lucas guys that showed up, and I think Eckert was there from, you know, he runs World of Outlaws.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was awesome. I knew 100% going into that we were good enough to go there and win that race, but you know, it's not easy. You know, especially when you get Scott and Davenport and Owens, Lanigan. You know, there's the list of the guys that run that series is there's the best in the business. So it felt good. You know, it was definitely the best night of my career so far. You know, and it was a special night, that's for sure.
That's really cool. So is there any chance that we will see you at the World of Outlaws this weekend in Carolina?
We talked about going down there, but we're racing I think we're going to go to the Ray Cook Spring Nationals races at Ponderosa and Florence, because there's a World of Outlaw race the following Friday at Ponderosa.
Okay.
So I think we're going to go there and get some laps. I've raced both tracks a few times each, and just want to go there. And we're still learning on this new car a little bit, and we just want to have ourselves as prepared as we can for the following weekend for when the World of Outlaw races are held there. So that's the plan as of now. But we're watching the weather and going to make a decision here in a day or so on which direction we want to go when we pull out of the shop.
Yeah. When you talk about that X1R rocket, Mark Richards and his group has really went to work last fall on their program, but they're not the only ones. Like when you look at the season Davenport and Bloomquist had last year, it really made everybody go to work. And we see Brian Shirley's program with Longhorn. We see Barry Wright and Jimmy Owens. They're really starting to get going here. Lanigan and them's working hard. What is it like the amount of effort, and you talk about going to a different track and learning more about the car, that is going into these dirt late models now than, say, a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's everyone has had to step their game up, 110% from, a year ago at this time, or even 2 years ago. Everyone's always been Jason Scott. He's always been good. But when someone like Davenport comes in and kind of just turns the whole sport basically upside down with how many wins he had, and some of the newer things he was doing on his race car that maybe no one had ever given any thought to before.
Yeah.
And the engineering that people were the additional steps people were going through with testing, and the engineering behind all the suspension technology that people were going more and more in depth with these days is it's just the approach we have with our car today versus 1 year ago seems to be so much different. it's just crazy how much the sport has changed in a matter of 1 year.
When you talk about the changes, I want to ask you. I haven't drove a late model, and I've only drove one once. But when I seen a really cool picture on the Lucas Oil Facebook page, it was you and Scott side by side. The cars for aero platform, sealed up, nice, rake, everything. Are the cars getting hard to drive in traffic where they're getting so aero dependent?
Yeah, the air seems to be. I mean, I guess I've done this long enough. I can't say that it's just all of a sudden changed, but
Yeah.
The air on the cars is so important. I mean, that you can go so much faster by yourself than you can running in a pack of cars or behind another car. That it's a lot different.
Hey, you know what I found, Greg? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh,
You
go
can
ahead.
see. You can see. No, I'm joking with you. You can see where you're going is what my reasoning is, but I understand, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, I guess you were just getting at or looking more at like the aerodynamics of the car and how much clean air means on
Yeah.
getting all four tires planted into the racetrack. But from what you were asking, sorry about that. But yeah, the back end of the cars get so far up in the air now that you can't see around them. When you get up behind them or they're too wide in front of you, you can't see beyond them at all because the cars are so far up in the air in the back. Seems like our cars are moving more now than they ever have.
Yeah, and when you talk about, I think probably more people notice air, racing, and they're punching such big holes and doing stuff. With my Cup background, we've ever since I went there, it was like everything's aero. How you drive, how you're doing stuff, and you see on dirt, it's cool. It's like, all right, you got to go here because there's nobody there, and it's always been there. Maybe other guys never talked about it, but it just looks. The cars are so sealed up, and they're working on the bodies and doing all this stuff, and it's very interesting at how everybody's pushing the limits and really trying to, like you talked about, getting the rear ends up and doing all this, take advantage of everything they can.
Yeah, every little thing from shock springs, even still the tire prep, the way you have your body mounted with your nose and the right side, the deck, how much drop you can have in your deck, and just every little thing adds up. And it might be a tent here, a tent there, not even, but when you put all that together, you might find yourself, a few tenths better than what you were with just everything, normal or back, how things were last year, at this time.
Yeah. Well, Greg, one last question before we let you go. It actually comes from Twitter from Gene Leffler. He wants to know how you got the greatest nickname in racing, The Truth.
I get that question a lot. The guy that started calling me that is Rick Eshelman. He was the World of Outlaws announcer, for quite a few years. Maybe when I first started traveling around and hitting some of the outlaw shows when they were in our area, he started calling me The Truth. People were coming up to me and asking me about it, and I said, I don't even know what it means. So I ended up asking him one day. I said, I got to know what the deal with this nickname is. I said, because everyone wants to know why you call me this. And his only response was, he said, because that's what you are. He said, you're the truth. He said, that's your new nickname.
Huh.
All right, I guess I said, if you say so, you're announcing it.
That's awesome.
And it's I guess that maybe doesn't answer your question, but he just started calling me that, and it's stuck. I know I can go anywhere across the country now and race, and people know that's my nickname. So it's definitely unique. It's maybe not a common racing nickname, but it's.
Well, I think there's things that could have been a lot worse. So that one he picked out was pretty decent.
I
So.
like it. Hey, well, I think it fits him.
I do too. Absolutely.
I do too. I like
awesome.
it.
Well, Greg, congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll be seeing you down here in the South this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And if the weather's looking like it's better there, we may end up in North Carolina this weekend racing. So
Perfect.
We'll see.
Good.
We
Come on
look forward
down.
to seeing you, hopefully.
Yeah, come on down, get a hot dog with some slaw on it. You'll fit right in.
Thanks for being on the show, Greg.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
No problem.
The truth.
The truth.
I think that does fit him. When I've talked to him, I'm like, He's a no BS kind of guy. I like that.
Yeah, but now he's winning Lucas Oil races. He might not be telling the entire truth when guys ask him what he's got going on.
You know what? When I listen to him, you have a guy that's very intense about his racing, and
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yep, no doubt.
It says a lot about him.
Well, another gentleman who is intense about his racing is up next. It is Josh Harris here on Slingin Dirt, presented by MRN. Well, that was wrong. Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing and grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best Select, and Wagner Thermo-Quiet at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brake parts from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices, every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Race cars are finely tuned for maximum performance. Freightliner trucks are too, taking into account all the factors that drive your profitability and lower your real cost of ownership. Efficient aerodynamic designs paired with the integrated Detroit powertrain maximizes fuel efficiency, uptime, quality, connectivity, and safety to give truckers peace of mind and a better return on investment. Find out how to lower your real cost of ownership at rco.freightlinertrucks.com.
Don't miss the first ever Country 500, the Great American Music Fest at Daytona International Speedway, Memorial Day weekend. Join Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Kid Rock, Lady Antebellum, Florida Georgia Line, Willie Nelson, and many more for 3 awesome days and nights of music, camping, and more on the infield of the World Center of Racing. Visit country500.com for more information.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. Our next guest finds himself in the winner's circle at Bloomington this past weekend, and you can also find him at the top of the UMP National Points. It is Josh Harris. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So it's still early in the season, but which one of these is more important to you? Is it all about winning races, or is it about staying on top for that UMP national title?
Well, last year when we got together with Scott Clippinger Racing, we set out just to win the bigger, the bigger shows. We had won when I had raced local for myself and for some of the other guys, we had won a lot of races, but they were all local type races, when we had won some of the bigger shows at our tracks, but as far as actually getting out and traveling around and hitting the bigger races, I had not done a whole lot of that. And so last year our goal was to just win a couple of the bigger races, and we did that. We had some really good showings last year with 8 wins, and I think 6 of them were bigger events. And this year we kind of started out the same way. And then you look at where you stand, and we still want to hit the bigger races, but instead of the weekends where there's not a big race going on, instead of just sitting home, we're gonna go out and run some of the local shows too, and try to finish up there in the points as best we can. We're still gonna hit the bigger races though, and also try to maintain that points lead. The way that UMP points deal is, it's a little bit misleading. And if you look, we're actually sitting at the top of the standings right now, but the way they average everything out, I figure we're actually about 3rd or 4th when everybody gets to the amount of races we're at. But we have a couple good showings, and once we get to our 30 points, we get to replace a few. Then hopefully we can battle for the national championship at the end of the season.
So for a lot of the fans that don't know you, the home regions like southern Indiana, northern Kentucky area?
Yeah, I live in Kentucky, and our shop and we race out of is Evansville.
Okay.
So my region is actually Evansville's in Indiana. So I'm kind of right there split to where we're in a lot of the southern region stuff, and then also we're in a lot. I'm not sure what that region that Bloomington is called. Like you have Bloomington, Brownstown, places like that. They're in a different region. So at the end of the year, we run a lot in both regions, so we don't ever really contend for a regional title because we're split in between the two regions. But all of the regions go towards the national title.
Yeah, they got quite a few where you're at. I went to Bloomington a couple of years ago, and then we went down to Kentucky Lake, but I didn't realize how many tracks in that area you're at. You can go to Southern Illinois. They got Indiana. There's a lot of mod racing there in that whole region for attendance and doing stuff.
Yeah, there is. I think that actually kind of hurts car count a little bit. From our shop, if you go 2.5 hours from our shop on any Saturday night, there's probably 8 to 12 tracks racing.
Oh, wow.
So, that really hurts the car counts around here. And, you get over into Southern Illinois, close to the Missouri area, where there's only 3 or 4 running on a Saturday night, then they get their Saturday night attendance way up, and they'll have the 30-plus cars that you need for the bonus points, where around here, with 10 to 25, you get the same amount of points. You start getting the bonus points when you get in the 25 to 30. And it's rare. Over at Brownstown the other night, we had 28. But it's pretty rare to be able to get a bonus points around here unless it is a bigger show.
You just taught me something. I was unaware of all the bonus point situation going on there, but it totally makes sense. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, being in the area that you're in, is there potential for running the Hell Tour this year?
Yeah, I believe we're gonna run quite a bit of that. I don't think we'll make every race. I think what we're gonna do is that's about a 5-week schedule, and I think we're gonna pick out like 3 of the weeks that look best for us, and we're gonna go out probably a week at a time, and then come back to the shop and get everything back together, and then go out for another week and kind of do it that way instead of heading out and staying gone for 5 or 6 straight weeks. Then we're going to try to pick the week that looks best for closest to our place and what makes the most sense travel wise. So we will hit a lot of those shows.
I have 2 questions. When you talk about the bigger shows, I wanted to know if you have plans to go to the indoor St. Louis race in December. And the other thing is what is your weekly schedule? I don't even really know. Are you a farmer? Do you have a business, or what do you do during the week and allows you to go racing?
Well, in years past, when I was driving my own car and for a guy named Kenny Wright, we were partners, and me and my wife and her mom and dad owned a small construction company, and we did that through the week and then raced local on the weekend. But last year when I got hooked up with Scott Clippinger Racing, he's gave me a excellent opportunity to be a full-time racer. So,
oh wow,
for the starting last November, that's all we've done is race. I maintain my car, and his son John maintain his stuff, and we do a lot of stuff for the guys around here. We'll do some bodies and some tech help, and we do some setup work for some guys, and but basically me and my wife, we're at the shop every day, 8 to 10 hours a day, and in the middle of the summer 12 to 15. You know how that goes. But it's a great opportunity he's given me to be a full-time racer. I've always knew that I wanted to do that, but I thought that I would have to get into a late model or go the NASCAR route or something like that. I never dreamed I'd actually be able to make a living, running modifieds around here in the Southeast, and it's been a great opportunity for me, and we've really enjoyed it.
That's really, really awesome, and the fact that your wife can do it with you too. And it sounds like, to me, modifieds are where you want to be. It doesn't sound like you want to venture out into the late model world. You're pretty happy with where you're at.
Well, in years past, I always thought I wanted to be a late model guy, but the only reason for that is because I also thought that's where I would have to be to make a living. But you're exactly right. I'm 100% content running here in the modified ranks, and I don't have actually the late model stuff around here is not very big. You have to really travel away from our shop long hours to go late model racing. I mean, everything around right in this area is modified based. So I think for us, that's the smartest thing for us to be in.
That is cool. Well, hey, since you're racing full time, June 3rd and 4th, Legendary Hilltop, a $10,000 to win modified race. You gonna be there?
Oh, what sanction is that?
That is, it's Southeastern Modified Series,
Yep.
but it's AMRA. So basically, all you do is you're gonna buy tires and put a spoiler on and go race. Same thing as what you're running now.
Yeah, I'll talk to Scott about that, and he makes all the decisions on where we go and what we're doing. But it is possible.
Well, I also have to ask, since you asked about the St. Louis deal, what is it, Mississippi River Speedway?
Mississippi Thunder.
Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Their 40 to grand to win show. Will you be heading up that way? I know it's a little bit probably outside of your travel area, but for that kind of money?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on that. I barely know where we're going at the end of the month. I do know that we are registered for the St. Louis, the indoor deal in December. I do know that's on the schedule. But we've got this weekend planned, and honestly, I don't even know where we're going after this weekend. So it's hard for me to say.
So is a lot of that your schedule based around, are you mentoring his son? Is it something that you go kind of where he's getting experience too, or what's the relationship there?
Yes, that's both our cars are identical, and that's exactly what we're doing. I'm mentoring him, and we started off running him just at the local stuff, and I was going and running the bigger stuff. So we would, I would race a few nights, and he would race a few nights. But here this season, what we're doing is we're going to try to race hard and race a lot of shows, and he's going to race with us. So wherever we go, most of the time he's there with us.
That's awesome.
Unless he's a senior in high school this year, so there'll be a few nights where he won't be there for other obligations, and we'll still go ahead and go racing. But the majority of the time, it'll be us and John both racing.
That's
really cool.
Boy, I'm gonna keep up with you guys because it sounds like a lot of fun in what you're doing, and especially I love that Hell Tour we talked about. It is a lot of work to go run 5 weeks.
Back to back.
With all those races and traveling around, it's amazing the amount of effort it takes to do that.
It is. It's with a race car. It's a lot of work anytime. If you're there's not a time where I've ever shut the garage door and think, okay, everything's done. I mean, if we've got 6 months before the next race, I can fill in 10 to 12 hours a day working on that car, preparing it for the next race. I mean, it's just all the time you have to be competitive, and to get to where we want to be, you have to just eat, sleep, and breathe it. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to. I've got a great opportunity here to go to the next step and to be where we want to be, and to be one of the top modified guys in the nation. And I'm going to do all I can to capitalize on it.
That's awesome. You're absolutely right. One of my favorite sayings is, you got to work during the week so you can win on the weekends. It's all about what goes on in the shop. But Josh, I appreciate you being on our show. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll be seeing you around this summer.
Yeah, sounds fun. Thanks for having us. And I got a whole lot of people I got to thank real quick.
Sure.
Mainly Scott Clippinger and his family. They've just given me a great opportunity for me and my wife, and NFP Financial, Lucas Oil Center, T&E Auto Sales, BSB, Randy Cordy Consultant, Mark Bush Race Cars, All-Star Performance, Ted Brown's Paint and Body, Spec Racing Engines, FK Rod Ends, KSE, Wright Steel, just all the people that get behind us and support us and allow us to go out and do what we love to do. Really appreciate it, and we couldn't do it without any of them.
No doubt.
Great.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Josh. We appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, look forward to seeing you guys down the road.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I like that he recognized all the people that helped him.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that a lot of the names he mentioned there help a lot of people in that that region, and they don't get enough credit for what they do with local racing.
And he'd be awesome in NASCAR. He's really good at reading them all off.
He sounded like
he
David.
Had him
you know who he
memorized.
sounded like? David Reagan.
David Reagan?
A little bit.
Yeah,
did.
I can hear that.
Yeah,
now that you say that. Well, before we go to break, folks, real quick, we want to ask for your help and in exchange give you a chance to win your own Google Chromecast. In an effort to give you the kind of web programming you want, we're asking if you'll take a quick online survey at www.mylistenerstudy.com. The survey is completely anonymous and will help us give you more of what you like. And again, don't forget to enter for the Google Chromecast. That's mylistenerstudy.com. We really appreciate your feedback and good luck. We'll be back to talk to Cade Dillard here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Hey, it's me, Kansas Speedway. And I'm sorry. Sorry for the blast of NASCAR in your ear holes at 200 miles per hour. Sorry for turning your kids into motorheads. Sorry when your bones rattle into next week. And sorry for my all-weekend tailgates, high-octane parties, and epic adrenaline shebangs. Yeah, I'm real sorry about that. Tell them about the race.
It's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series GoBowling.com 400, featuring the sport's top drivers. Saturday night, May 7th, Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah. Sorry, moms. Sorry I'm always BYOB and you never have to pay for parking. Sorry when bad drivers race their flippin' wheels off.
Get your tickets at KansasSpeedway.com.
You're welcome.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We're the Stremmes, and you're listening to Slingin Dirt,
What's so
presented
funny?
by Hercules Tire. Oh, just you.
Why?
Just you.
Because I asked him if he was a farmer. I mean, most guys that race are farmers. I'm curious what the next guy, what Cade is. What's he doing?
I don't know. We're about to
find out.
Speaking of him, he led flag to flag, and he picked up his first U.S. MTS win of this season this weekend at the Cage. It is Cade Dillard. Welcome to the show, Cade.
How are you doing?
We are doing well.
I don't know. Is this your first win this year?
For U.S. MTS?
We won the 2 races out in Arizona in January and won some other local stuff, but other than that, that's good.
That's where when you're out in Tucson.
Right.
Yeah, okay. You threw me off a little bit. Shit, I'm trying to keep her
Know
on her
your
toes
notes.
here, but
Know your notes.
I knew
Get your
he's
notes.
won.
Well, are you going to ask him what
Yeah,
he does?
hey,
you're the one that was
They're-
wanting to know. It was a diehard question.
They're busting my balls on how, I asked the last guy what allows him to go out and go racing all the time, and what does your week consist of? Are you a full-time racer, or, as I asked him, are you a farmer, or do you have your own business? What allows you to go out and have fun?
Yeah, as of this year, I'm a full-time racer. Before that, my dad owned a Napa store and worked there ever since I was a kid. Luckily, I could work there, and he let me take off to go racing.
Yeah.
And, this year I got an opportunity to start driving for Shane and Shelly Sprinkle, and they've made it to where, this is what I do now. We devote 100% of our time into it, so living the dream.
Now I know your
Absolutely.
secret.
Way cool.
He's got Napa know-how.
That's it.
That is it. Hey, we use some Napa parts at Lethal. I like it,
Oh, my goodness gracious. I apologize, Cade. This segment is just in a downward spiral, and you're just being
it's
sucked
not.
into it.
Oh, no worries.
So what
I want
about
to talk about this weekend. You led flag to flag. I've got to ask, though, what was going through your head when that caution came out with 1 lap to go?
Seriously,
not
tell us.
appropriate to say on radio here.
Yes, I knew what was. I knew what he was going to say. He's going to say that Staley guy. I'm going to come after him.
I don't know which Staley I was cussing, if it was Todd or the flagman, what. But I've seen that, and that's happened to us once this year at Waco. We led the whole thing on green-white checkers, ended up getting passed. So I knew we had a good car, though, so as long as the driver hit his marks and didn't mess up, I figured we'd be all right. But, yeah, that call was still kind of questionable in my book. I was on the back straightaway of the white flag lap, and I seen that, and I wasn't real sure what to think about that.
Well, that, as they say, that's racing. But as your season's been going on, and everybody was talking about this little 5th mile, do you like the smaller little bull rings, or you like the big places like you were at there at Lakeside earlier in the weekend?
I've always been fond of the small tracks. In Louisiana, that's about all we have, small bull rings. We don't really have any big 3/8 or half miles. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I grew up on there. But that's a whole new meaning to bull rings there. That place, it's impressive how good it raced to be as small as it was. When you first walk up there and look at it, video makes it look way bigger than it is. I mean, It looks like they drained a pond and put a wall around it and said, we're going to race cars here. But it's impressive how good it turned out, to be able to race, 2-3 wide on a place that small.
Yeah.
They did a great job with it.
It's funny you talk about it as a pond, because most people probably wanted it filled as a pond. But when you talk about small racetracks, I think of like Macon, Illinois is very, very small. And it's funny, you can run 2-3 wide on these little bull rings, and it really gives, how do I want to say it, it equals out a lot to guys maybe that are on big hammer down, big motor tracks, and then they're on a little small track. Don't you feel it balances the field out?
Oh, I agree for sure. A lot of these big tracks, a lot of people don't have the motor it takes to make one live, on these half-mile tracks when you're wide open all the way around it. So you go to a smaller place like that, it's a lot easier on your equipment. Maybe not quarter panels and bumpers, but as far as motors go, it's definitely easier on your equipment.
Quarter panels and bumpers are a little bit cheaper than the water heater that you got under the hood there, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
You talk about racing local tracks there and running with the USMTS. They dub USMTS as some of the best drivers in the country. What's it like running with them and then going and running your local stuff as well?
These guys are tough for sure. They're, in my book, the best of the best. You go race with these, and these people, you don't really understand how tough it is till you go race with them week in and week out. It's whenever you get a win, you're not sure when you're going to get another one, so you kind of got to cherish that one. They're hard to come by. Jason Hughes might not agree with that, but they're a tough group of people, and it's everybody for the most part gets along good. It's fun traveling with them. But you go race with these guys, and you go back home, and it kind of makes everything a lot easier. But then too, we've already ran, probably close to 25, 30 races this year, and if we go back home and run a weekly show, they've only ran about 2 or 3 so far. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting out and racing. The more that's with anything, the more you do it, the better you're going to be for the most part. So I think that's been the biggest thing, is just have an opportunity to travel more this year and go out and race more often.
When you talk about the travel, we've seen Stormy and Johnny come to the West Virginia area last weekend. Is that something that you and your team are looking, maybe go to Illinois, Indiana, some different areas and go race?
Yeah, I would love to, actually. And I've looked at schedules and all that. Our biggest focus is the USMTS right now,
Yep.
Chasing points and all that. So if we have, a couple weeks off, it's, for some weird reason we're already up that way, that's definitely a possibility. I've looked at some schedules and trying to figure out when we are off, but to only racing, a couple times is kind of hard, to get, tires and all that, and get everything changed over just for, 1 or 2 races. So if we could ever schedule it to where we could race, several times, that's definitely a possibility.
Isn't and I think I'd read somewhere USMTS is getting ready to get into a big run of races here throughout the month of May into June.
Yeah, whenever we leave, well, I think starting the other night, it was 20 races in 38 days. So once we leave in about the 1st of May, we won't come home that whole month. So especially considering where we live, as far south as I am, and all the races, that month are up north. So we'll just stay up that way the whole month. The summer stays pretty busy, and, the hunt, it's wide open this year. There ain't much of a break. So I'd say it's kind of our hill tour.
You posted a picture a couple weeks ago, and I just have to ask, because, David, you're going to love this. He rolled into one of his local tracks in an open trailer.
That is awesome there. I love it.
Yeah, we had the weekend off, and we wanted to go racing and do some testing. So it's kind of a lot easier and cheaper to just throw it on the open trailer and go with that. So we went and ran a Friday show, then came back and rolled her through the car wash Saturday morning and went and raced Saturday night. So makes it fun. Remember where you came from, that's for sure.
Exactly right.
That's what I hate. I mean, when people say, oh, you got this haul or you done this, and I love when people have open trailers, but it doesn't matter what you take to racetrack. You talk about being gone the whole month of May. You have to stay in something and take your whole shop with you to go out. What do you do? Do you go to some other guys' race shops? Do you have people there in the Midwest that you'll stop and maybe race out of their building or anything?
Yeah, we got a couple people we know. That's offered up a shop. Actually, the track there at Humboldt, that guy's been real good to us. He has a shop there that, last year and stuff, he's let me, stop by and use just to be able to wash and get everything cleaned up, place the scale and just regroup and get everything back squared up. It's good. When you go race, 8, 9, 10 races, it's good to kind of just regroup, get everything started over, make sure you got everything back to square one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Isn't it Gary and them up there at the was it Humboldt or Lucas Oil you were talking about?
Humboldt.
Okay,
It's Ryan Whitworth and his family. They've been real good to me about that, which it helps out a lot. Or else we end up unloading in some truck stop parking lot and working on it there and usually getting in trouble.
Well, that's cool.
Awesome. Well, Cade, we appreciate you being on the show, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Oh, thank you. If you got a minute, I'd like to thank all the people that makes this possible for me.
Sure.
First of all, Shane and Shelley Sprinkle, Turner Cut Ride, S&S Fishing and Rental, Nichols, ASI Race Engines, Moran Trucking, Joel's Auto Sales, Turner Cut Ride, Jody's Oilfield Service, Performance Graphics, Scotty Carolina Electric, the Comos. I'm sure I'm leaving someone out. Just everybody, a lot of people pitches in and makes it possible for us to get up and down the road. Donnie, my crew guy. Like I said, I hope I didn't leave someone out, but if it wasn't for all those, none of this would be possible.
That's exactly right.
Well, that's good.
Awesome. Thanks, Cade. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt.
I'm glad to hear all these guys recognize the people and help them.
It takes a small army to do what we love to do.
All three of them have done that.
Yeah. Real quick, we have a Twitter question from James Welsh. He wants to know, what is the rule for the modified as far as tire compound goes? I'll let you talk about that real quick.
Tire compound it depends.
It just depends on what series. That's what you need to talk about.
So when you look at like this weekend, we were at the Southeastern Modified, or I'll just explain it real fast. If you look at the country and you go straight down Ohio, you have AMRA, which is on an open tire rule. They run softs and a M100. Now you can run a medium hard and so on. Then you have UMP, which is going to do a great change this year. Right now you can allow a DA, AS, or an H. Starting July 1st, they're going to have an AS and H only. And then you have USMTS, which is on an American Racer 704. And then you have IMCA, which is on basically a G60 tire. So everybody has. And
I just see dollar signs.
When you look at the modifieds, really, tires are a consumable item. Yes. But you change tires and maybe a little bit on the body and your engine. And other than that, you can go race them.
Yep. And we'll be right back here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly.
If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing and grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best Select, and Wagner Thermoquiet at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brake parts from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you or your family love the freedom of swimming any time of year, if you love sharing good times and making great memories, or if you want one of the best total body workouts ever, then it's time to discover the 3 C's of your very own endless pool. The first C is convenience. Imagine swimming year-round in your own private swimming pool, installed indoors or out, just steps away. The second C is comfort. With sculpted spa seats and your own adjustable temperature, you can easily escape the stress of your day. And the third C is cost. Your endless pool is an affordable luxury at a fraction of the cost of a regular pool. And here's a bonus C, choice. Because when you call for your free Endless Pool Idea Kit, you'll receive information on our full line of pools to suit your budget and location.
Welcome back. You're listening to Slingin Dirt, and we are the Stremmes this week. Upcoming races. Lucas, of course, Tri-City Speedway, Macon, World of Outlaws are in our area, Caroline and Fayetteville.
The Tri-City is Gundaker's birthday coming up. They got a race there, yeah.
Cool.
And then what about Super Dirt Cars?
Yeah, Super Dirt Car is finally back in action since Florida. They will be at
awesome.
Fulton Speedway this week, so we'll be sure to pick up their winner this weekend.
Yep. USMTS are
USMTS
racing.
is at the Super Bowl Speedway, Kendall Speedway, and Lone Star Speedway for a 3-in-a-row show.
And to be honest, folks, there's so many out there.
The
series.
local tracks
it is hard
are
to keep
finally
up.
on fire.
And not even just series. I mean, really. And they joked at me about this. Go to social media. There's some really cool followings. I mean, I try to keep up with a lot of it. You'll just be seeing people sharing, and you can really follow quite a bit. So.
Hey, and speaking of sharing, please tweet us your pictures. We do love getting to see tracks all over the country that we don't actually get to see.
We'll get them up to Ravi and get them up. And hopefully we can get some people, get some Carolina hot dogs down here at Carolina Speedway on Friday.
That's exciting. Well, no hot dogs for me.
Yeah,
but,
anyways.
Yeah. Anyhow, we are the Stremmes, and we're so glad that you joined us today here for another episode of Slingin Dirt. You can find us later at MRN.com.
This has been Slingin Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.